Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Once again, my dear students, I am Murad Agriculture, Senior Lecturer, Department of Agriculture Studies, Milestone College. Today I will give you the lecture regarding Chapter 7, Section 1, which is page number 2132222 in your textbook. And this is the second part of this section. Last lecture, I'll give you the first part of this section. If I give you the summary of previous class, which is household agriculture farm, and the chapter section name was concepts and importance of household agriculture farm. The first part was like household agriculture farm, then importance of household agriculture farm, household vegetable farm, household poultry farm, then household livestock farm. So now today I'll discuss some topics, which is household fish farm, different steps for farm management, then health management, then some general problems and remedies of the pond. First, household fish farm. In our country, in the village area or rural area, find pond available in their household area. Maximum village house or urban house, you can find pond in their household area. So in this area, maximum time people or household family member culture the fish, but not commercially. Their women monitor this household egg fish farm, and in this farm they provide extra household cooking materials, extra rice, something like that. And in this farm they release some fish fries and provide supplementary feed. Do not provide maximum type of supplementary fish, but just women monitor this farm and rear the household fish farm. And that is why in this farm or in this pond do not produce more fish. The production of this pond fish is less. And even in this farm, people can culture the fish as a extra income. If they provide some fish fries which is bring from the hatchery, and they provide some extra supplementary feed, and the family women can give concentration on the extra time, then the fish of this pond will be increased more, and even this fish fulfill the nutritional value of the family people, and extra fish they can sell in the market. Remember, fish fulfill our nutritional value, which is most important nutrition is protein. We can find protein from the fish, and in this household family fish farm they can rear or they can culture some local fish or sometimes in the exotic fish. So what is a local fish? Local fish like rui, katla, mrigal, this type of fish they can rear in the pond. And even exotic fish like all type of grass carp like minor carp, silver carp, even tilapia, nilotica, this type of fish they can rear or they can culture in their household fish farm or their homestead area pond. Sometimes they can dig a new pond in front of the house or behind the house as well. So this is the concepts of household fish farm. But in this fish farm there are different steps for farm management. If you don't follow the steps of farm management, then you will not able to earn some, or the fish will not produce more in the farm. So if you follow some little bit steps, then it will increase the production in the farm as well, which is you have to clean the pond properly, you have to remove the voracious or predator fish from the pond, you have to provide lime in the pond for cleaning the pond, then you have to apply fertilizer for producing the natural feed in the pond, you have to supply supplementary feed in the pond, supplementary feed like rice bran, then rice husk, wheat husk, poultry facet, etc. Even after removing this, you have to check the fish for different type of disease as well. Even in steps of farm management is you have to check the fish in the pond, and you have to clean the pond. There is not more or dirt in the pond, and then you have to follow the biological control as well in the pond. And the other steps is health management. This steps is very important for your fish farm. Health management. There is some important disease which can be fish and affected. That is some viral or some are bacterial disease as well, which is gill rot disease, tail and field rot disease, ulcerative disease, dropsy disease. So if you found any abnormality in the pond, you have to follow the treatment and prevention as well. And if that is epidemic condition, then you have to take the advice from the fisheries officer and then works accordingly with that fisheries officer advice. Otherwise the fish production will not increase in your farm, household poultry fish farm. So you have to follow that health management system. And remember that if I told you the last class, which is prevention is better than cure. So that means always do the prevention in your farm. So what type of prevention that is? That is clean the water, provide enough supplementary feed, and increase the natural feed in the pond, vaccinate the fish, and get the improved variety of fish. This is called the prevention. And after that, if you infected, in case of infection of the fish, that time if you able to do that, then you provide treatment. Otherwise you have to definitely contact with the fisheries officer for the advice. So this is the point for household fish farm, which is local fish, exotic fish, different steps for farm management and health management. Now I describe some important steps, important problems and remedies of pond, which you have to maintain properly or accordingly. Otherwise the fish production or fish culture is not will be very good in your pond. First point is floating and suffocation of fish. In the pond, fish might face some problem, which is floating and suffocating of fish. This is happened due to the lack of oxygen in the pond. When lack of oxygen in the pond, that time fish floating on the top of the layer, top portion of the pond or water, and suffocating in the water. Why? Because when excess mud in the pond ground underneath the bottom layer of the pond, sometimes excess natural feed in the pond, excess rain in the pond, rainwater in the pond, excess temperature in the pond. That time oxygen's availability lacking in the pond. That is why fish got suffocating in the pond and floating in the pond. When they floating in the pond, that time they open their mouth for gasping to get the oxygen from the outside. So this is the problem of floating and suffocating of fish due to the lack of oxygen. What is the remedies for fulfill the oxygen in the pond? So if you are swimming, somebody is swimming in the pond, then is stirring the pond water, that time oxygen enter in the pond, or is stirring the bamboo heating the bamboo in the pond water and then use the hora in the pond. That is, then you can fulfill the lack of oxygen in the pond. What is hora? Hora is a type of rope, and in between the rope you tie either breaking stone or brick, hanging the brick on the rope. That is called hora. If you pull that hora from one side to another side of the pond, then make the artificial wave inside the pond. Then the oxygen inside enter in the pond. That is called hora in the pond. Otherwise you can swim in the pond, then artificial wave make in the pond. Otherwise you can heating the bamboo on the top of the pond water, then you can improve the oxygen in the water. So this is the floating and suffocation of fish. Next point is green layer on water. Sometimes green algae produce in the on the top of the layer and covered like a clothes top of the layer. This is another problem in the pond, because when artificial natural food would grow more in the pond, that time green algae produce more in the pond. So because green layer present in the pond, that time the problem is oxygen do not enter in the pond. Then underneath the water, fish cannot get the oxygen properly, even cannot get the sunlight inside the middle or bottom layer of the pond. If sunlight do not enter in the pond, that time natural feed do not produce underneath the pond. Even the fish cannot get the proper oxygen. That time that fish, due to the green layer of the pond, fish come in the upper side of the pond and floating and suffocating. So how do you remove the green layer of the pond? You can use cotton clothes to remove the green layer, or banana leaf or straw to remove the green layer from the pond water. Again, another point is red layer on water. This is called red algae in the top of the layer. Is like same green layer and red layer, and due to the red layer, same thing is happen. What sunlight cannot enter in the water, even oxygen cannot produce underneath the water. Then fish getting suffocation and floating in the top layer. That is why remove the red layer from the pond. How could you remove the red layer? Use the cotton cloth or use the banana or straw leaf. And for red layer, that means red algae, you can provide copper sulfate. Take a packet of copper sulfate and stick with the bamboo and leave underneath 10 to 50 centimeter of the pond. Then that will be red algae will be spoiled in the pond. So this is the way. Always remember that when increase green layer and red layer in the pond, that time you have to stop to apply supplementary feed, stop to apply any type of fertilizer, stop to apply any types of organic fertilizer. Because when more green layer and red layer in the pond, that means natural feed produce more in the pond. So if that time you apply supplementary feed or you apply green organic fertilizer, that time that will be not helpful for your culture in the fish. So next point is turbid water. Sometimes turbid water increase in the pond, like if rain water fall in the pond or go to inside the water of the pond, or the river bank is lack of grass, that time that water will be turbid. What will be the problem of turbid water? If the pond water is turbid, again that time sunlight cannot enter in the water, oxygen cannot produce in the water, and then production of or growth of fish will be stopped or retarded, and that time the suffocation of fish will occur, and the floating fish will be floating on the top of the water. So this is the turbid water. So what will be the remedies of turbid, decreasing turbid water or removing turbid water? You can use lime, or you can use gypsum, or you can use copper sulfate. Then turbid water will be removed. Last point is gas storing in the mud of the bottom of the pot. Sometimes when excess mud present in the ground of the pond, that time some gas like ethylene gas produced in the pond. If the ethylene gas produced in the pond, that time pond water become toxic, and due to the pond water is toxic, the fish will affected in different disease or maybe die. That is why you have to remove the excess water underneath, the excess mud underneath or bottom of the pond. Other thing is to happen when gas is storing in the pond water, that time natural feed production will be hampered. That is why if you have to stop that thing, how can you stop that thing, or what is the remedies of that things? You can remove the mud from the pond, and you can use the hora, or you can swim in the pond, or you can steering the bamboo or hitting the bamboo in the pond to make the artificial wave of the pond, that time produce the oxygen, and the gas from the pond will remove from the pond. So this is the point. Remember the two picture in this page, which is 221 is steering pond water, and page number 222 is a hora. This is the figure of hora. So from this is today's lecture, you can get MCQ and CQ as well, and this picture might come in the exam, in the CQ exam or in the MCQ exam. So you have to identify that one, and you have to describe that one if it is come in the CQ question, or it might be come in the MCQ question. Then you have to I told you last class, and I told you always underline every single line of the textbook, because it will help in your MCQ and CQ as well. So summary of today's lecture is household fish farm description and some local fish name and exotic fish name, then different stages for farm management, then health management. In this health management you can get some fish name and their causes, and some general problems of remedies. This can be come for 2 marks or 3 marks as well, and this is come for the your CQ exam as well. So this for the your exam, which is this for the your today's lecture, which is chapter 7 section 1, and this is the second part and last part of your section. So thank you very much.